Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened, as I said it would. People will be... Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe football show, and it is time for your press conference reaction. The last time we did one of these, it was an angry press conference reaction. Put my teeth in. It was an angry press conference reaction. This one's probably just more comical and all a little bit guessy-worky based on what Daniel says. We are such a special club. I know we say that about Liverpool, right? Such a special club. But we're special in the sense that we're not good. Like, we're crazy. That we're wild. Daniel Farke's best line for me was, he's not aware of any club in Western Europe to ever be in this situation with contract clauses. Any club in Western Europe. Let that just sit and sizzle. Right, let that just sit and sizzle for a bit. That no other club, I'll repeat myself again, in Western Europe has ever had a situation like this. Insanity of the highest order. Insanity of the highest order. We will go through the press conference in more detail. Go through what is discussed. RE returnees game, etc. It almost feels like the game's secondary at the minute. I think that's the same for Leeds United fans as well. I've seen a daft piece from the YEP this morning saying Leeds fans are expecting a win. I'd love you to find them people, because I'm certainly not on Friday. I don't even think the football club are. It almost feels secondary right now. Of course, they're going to go out and want to win the game, but they don't know who's coming or going. Player power. We've gifted them that. Let's just say that. Player power. I could see this situation again ending up in the court of arbitration. I'm talking JKA Mark II here. Like, this is genuinely what situation Leeds United have put themselves in. We could genuinely be looking at JKA Mark II. You know, someone's just messaged me there. Big shout out. You know you are. Two people. And this legal issue, there's a legal issue, right? There's legality around Sinistera's contract. So Sinistera hasn't refused to play. Okay, this is what it seems to me, because he made sure that he separated Willie and Cini. They're totally different issues. Yeah, they're Sion Williams, you highly doubt what? That will end up in court? Well, you don't know this football club. If you think you highly doubt it, if you can say with chest, I highly doubt that about this shit show, then I wish I had what you were on, because I ain't. The fact the club are having to go to the lengths to say to someone, you know what, you just wait on the sidelines, tells me all. You know, tells me all. They're panicking, both club and his side as well. Yeah. It's mad. Mad. Anyway. So someone just messaged me there. You get no JKA vibes from that presser. What do you mean? When did you get JKA vibes before? If you can't see that this could end up in a sticky situation, then I don't know. But we'll see in it. We'll see. It won't surprise me. So yeah, it won't surprise me. Anyway, I'm not going to defend my opinion, because I can see people disagree with me, and that's fine. But if it ends up being as bad as some might think it is, then just remember I said that, yeah? Just remember I said that. Just like with the other situation, you know, just like last week when I was telling people it's all, and everyone were going, calm down. And then we've got the trust in that now speaking to the club. So, and everyone's on board with it. So we'll see in it. We'll see. I hope I am wrong. I hope I am wrong. For me, it's two things, right? It's two things. We could be looking at a situation where the club are wanting to. We could be looking at a situation where the club are looking at if they maybe loan more players than than we're legally allowed to do. In terms of in terms of the 7 rule and all that sort of stuff. Leeds United might already have a thinking in mind of who they want to go where, and therefore Cine. So that's one side, and maybe the club are looking into that. The other side is Sinistera's loan clause has expired. Yeah, Sinistera's loan clause has expired. Okay, and that's probably the one that I'm most leaning to. Now, if people think it ain't an issue, then tell me why he's not with the squad. If there isn't an issue, if the contract's watertight, yeah, if it's watertight, why are the club having to seek legal advice? Or why are his side having to seek legal advice? It's clearly, like Moss says, something more serious and complicated. It's not cut and dry. It's not watertight. There is wiggle room. Hence why he's not playing. It's not been sorted out now. When was it he didn't play? He didn't play against Birmingham. It's been a week. So it's not as cut and dry as you think. Because if it was watertight, if it was watertight, then we wouldn't be in this situation. Like Mass says, and he's bang on, if it was simple, it'd already be resolved. You'd be able to go, unlucky, mate, your clause has expired, get training. That's not happening. He's currently with Costa and Nonto. So I don't think it's as easy as people believe. Because if it was as easy, he'd already be with us. Which also, when I say JKA Mark 2, is what I'm saying. We could end up in a situation where players are saying, no, I'm taking you somewhere. I'm not happy with this situation. And that's my point. And that's my reference to JKA Mark 2. I know it's not a similar sort of situation in terms of, oh, we don't want you, etc. But there's clearly an issue where the club and Sinistera, both parties have gone, yeah, let's get some legal advice. In what world should you need to get legal advice? If the contract's watertight, why do you need to get legal advice? That is my question. For those that are relaxed about it, and okay, be relaxed about it. Yeah, but Russ, that's the point, isn't it? Maybe his camp have said this. No, the clause will have an expiry date, and that's that. 15th. Okay, we're past the 15th, done. That is the issue, Russ. That is the issue. We've said, I'm not sure, but that's my point. It's not cut and dry, is it? It's not cut and dry. And again, this isn't Sinistera's fault. This is the club's fault for not making it watertight. What I will say in response to you, Graham, don't watch. Don't watch, okay? I do not have power over anyone's opinion. I give my opinion on this situation. It might be wrong, might be right, might be silly, might be good. It is what it is. I'm not going to stop. If we all, it's like when people say to me, I'll wait for the official announcement. Well, what's the point? What's the point? We might as well just burn it all down then and wait for official channels to give us the official company line. This is a club, and obviously Angus was involved with the JKA situation, that believed they could somehow get out of a contract because of COVID. Due to a natural disaster, if you like. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like getting. Yeah, but Jack, People said this as well. People said this about last week. If you don't agree with me, that's fine, and that's fine. But I'm giving you my opinion on the situation. Yeah, like that's if you're saying I'm overreacting, that is fine, broski. But when I'm listening to that, I'm going, all right, okay, so yeah, exactly, Sorin. That's the way to go, isn't it, bro? Sometimes I watch content creators that I disagree with, and I'll listen and I'll go, yeah, nah, that's not for me, and I'll turn it off. You know? Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I am overreacting, but at this moment in time, the club's in a bit of a sorry state. We shouldn't even be in this situation. Like Daniel Farker said, the only club in the whole of Western Europe to ever be in this situation. That should tell you that this isn't cut and dry. That should tell you that there's issues. You know what I mean? Yeah, Scott again. Yeah, and that's my point of like, if the club say no, this could end up going down a court situation. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's my point with JKA Mark II. But a club shouldn't be in this situation. A club that's smart and has people at the top shouldn't be in this situation ever. Ever. The facts are as well, which is more worrying for me. It looks like to me that they have differing dates on these release clauses. They have differing dates on these release clauses because Cini's got one. The others, I don't know how many's left though. It might just be Cini, and Adams might have a cash release clause. Outside of that, this could be the end, couldn't it? Somerville might have missed the date. If indeed he had one, I don't think probably Somerville had one. So Somerville might stay, which is a positive. There are positives. And again, this is just presumptions at this point. But Somerville, it's gone quiet. Doesn't look like he has a release clause. We've seen Jack Harrison and the noise about Sinistera as well around the same time as Jack Harrison. So maybe they all did have the same date, but based on what Daniel was saying, he was like, as we get closer to the end of August, we'll know more. We're still not quite there yet. So it sounds to me almost like some have changed, some haven't. I do believe Sinistera probably is one of them, but we're in a situation where it's not cut and dry, where it's not black and white, and that's not good for anybody. That's not good for Cini. That's not good for the football club. That's not good for us as fans because there's uncertainty. There's that much uncertainty that he's training with Willie Gnonto. He made clear he hadn't refused to play without saying it because he said these are different situations between Willie and him. Same with Costa. The Costa situation has been very amicable and very professional, which is good. They've obviously had a discussion, and Costa and Daniel have both said, yeah, that's fine. So no hate there. We need to wait and see what comes out in the wash with the Cini. Someone made a good point. Maybe he was in negotiations about potentially moving to Feyenoord, for example, and they didn't get it done by the deadline. There's a number of situations. I just don't like us being in that situation in the first place. You know? That's the issue for me. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm just having a look at some yeah, man, this is what I mean. Like Andrea, I'm just looking at our group chat. Andrea said Farker mentioned waiting for judgment from the league. What the hell does that mean? This is what I'm saying. We shouldn't even be in this situation. So we'll have to wait and see what actually happens. Let me have a look. Someone's saying Otter's effed up with it. I don't know. Andrea Russo's put Jean-Kevin Sinistera. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why people are confused why you can make that link. We will see the fallout, no doubt, on Twitter and stuff, and we will go through his press conference. I just want to have a look at this tweet. So John Manu says, very positive discussions with Leeds United Supporters Club and the LUFC today. We look forward to lots of good news in the immediate future. As ever, the Supporters Club supports the club and its players. So we might hear something from them. That's a tweet that's gone out that I have just retweeted. Just bear with us 1 minute. I'm just having a look on some of the fallout. Let me just have a look. I'm just seeing if I've missed any updates from, the likes of Phil and that on this situation before we go into the press conference comments. Farker unsure if any club in Western Europe has ever had a situation like this one. Jokes that Leeds are unique. Andrea Russo, hopefully the old transfer hierarchy has not engineered a contract fiasco here. Jean-Kevin Augustin 2.0, which is what I said. Phil here says, Farker says there are legal aspects to the contractual situation with Sinisterra, waiting for the outcome of those, different to none. So in that sense, again, what if the clauses don't work out in Leeds United's favour? Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. Let's have a look. So Graham Smith just said that hope of keeping Sinisterra and Tyler Adams appears as things stand to be alive. Adams trained this morning at Four Parch, we're told. Let's hope this clarity comes quickly. Farker's feeling on the exit clauses couldn't be clearer, though. Obviously unhappy. So Tyler Adams has been at Four Parch today. Bournemouth interest doesn't seem to have developed. Okay. Without him saying as much categorically, Farker gave a pretty strong hint that their release clauses have now expired. According to Joe Tiffany, he said, despite reports that Tyler Adams has travelled to Bournemouth for a medical, Phil has reported. Oh, right, okay. He's just regurgitating that. Sorry, I thought he was disagreeing. Joe Tiffany, ITK, yeah? Right, okay. So maybe there's light at the end of the tunnel. It ain't great that we find ourselves, I know, Jack, it ain't great that we find ourselves in a situation where we're going to have to wait on the Sinisterra thing. I just don't want it to end up in a I know, Jamie, I know, in a court of arbitration. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, big up Ruben Orange. Thank you for that comment, my guy, legend. Right, okay, listen. Maybe I wish we heard that. I wish Daniel would have said Adams and Sinisterra's contract and we're just waiting, but he didn't go into the legality of it, did he? He didn't go into the legality of it. I'm not. I thought he was disagreeing with Phil, and therefore I was like, come on now, mate, don't disagree with Phil. But he was just reporting the same. Right, okay. Let's go through the comments then, okay, on the press conference, as we like to do from top to bottom. So he was asked first and foremost, Adam Pope got straight into the mix. Has anything changed in regards to players leaving? Are Leeds United back in control? He said, it was always going to be bumpy. We had many exit clauses. We won't speak on these details. He's very clear that I'm the sportsman. That is all I'll speak on. He did say the closer we etch to the end of the window, the more we are in control, i.e. these release clauses having expiration dates. That seems to be the thing. Whether or not they've passed, maybe it's passed with Cine, and therefore, so shit, and that's why we're going to end up, in court or something. I don't know. But he says this has, so he said, the closer we etch to the end of the window, the more we're in control. And, he mentioned this has happened over the last few days. So that makes you think that we are getting closer. There is light at the end of the tunnel in this respect. So good news there. He was asked specifically then about Louis and Willie. Okay. He said, with Willie, we've already spoken on it. The club put out a statement. That's why I don't see the Sinisterra, the Costa situations being similar. And the reason they're not similar is because they'd have put out the same statements, right? Willie's been a very, very naughty boy in that respect. Really has universal dislike from the fans. He seems to be the real one, which is mad. Because out of the players, when he first came in and we fell for that propaganda piece of of Jesse Marsh cuddling his family and all that sort of shit. When really he was a little snake and Jesse was a snake, you know, both up to a madness. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he said at the moment, Costa, Louis, and Willie are all training separate from the group. Okay. He even said they've been moved out of the dressing room. I love that. You know, he's been moved out of the dressing room. But he also put Cini in that as well. Like, why Cini be moved out of the dressing room? Do you know what I mean? Again, I don't think it's as cut and dry. If you were hopeful of him staying, like he talked on later on about them not sharing the conversations they'd had between the four eyes. That's what he said. It will stay between four eyes, i.e. his and Cini's. I'd almost feel like Cini maybe does want to go, but because his clause has exited, the club is saying you can't. And then this is why we're trying to get into legal conversations about it. Do you know what I mean? So they've been moved out of the dressing room. Good. I like that. It's a strong stance. I ain't a mug. Do you know what I mean? You do not mess with Daniel Farke. And that's what I like about him. And if you do, then you're going to need to come back on your hands and knees groveling. He has exited people from his squad at Norwich before, and they were two massive players, folks, in Emi Buendia and Todd Cantwell. Massive players. And he said to them, on your bike. And guess what? They reintegrated into the squad. And guess what? They ended up being star turns and getting promoted. Yeah. So he knows how to manage these situations. Yeah. So they've been moved out of the dressing room. He did say Costa was honest, and that's cool. No concerns from him. Okay. He said Louis different because of the exit clause and legal things. We've decided to leave him out until sorted. He can't focus right now. They've obviously had conversations. It's from a player's standpoint. If there's confusion over the release clause, right? If there's confusion over the release clause, is Willie even in a signed state of mind to be putting in 100% through fear of maybe getting injured, etc.? Do you know what I mean? We do it, and I guess it's a smart move, but also with the legal side of it as well. Like, it's why this shouldn't even be a thing, really. But this is modern football, isn't it? We all have to be able to read balance sheets and be physiotherapists and expert analysis these days. You know, I just say, fucking kick the ball, get it out. Yeah, so Louis got the exit clause. It's decided to leave him out until sorted. Can't focus right now. We don't want distractions. This was good. We don't want distractions. We're working hard behind the scenes, waiting on legal stuff. Again, we'll have to wait and see how that develops. But there you go. We know that Willie doesn't have. Yeah, man on. Great shout out. And man on. 10. How's your touch? Do you know what I mean? All that stuff. Willie doesn't have a release clause. Therefore, he's saying, I'm not playing anymore. I don't think Willie goes, you know. I don't think Willie goes at all. Matty says Leeds doesn't feel like a football club at the moment, but you're right. Yeah, it doesn't, does it, bro? It's an asylum. It's an asylum. Do you know what I mean? It's mad right now, this football club. It's driving me insane. I know it's driving you guys insane and girls. You know, it's like I was saying to everybody yesterday, my kids aside, the football club is my bright spot. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Brian. Thank you, mate. So yeah, it ain't easy. It ain't easy being a Leeds United fan right now. I tell you that much. Almost laughing stock. This is what I mean. I've calmed down whilst being on the stream. I can't lie to you. Yous have calmed me down in the comments, actually, to be fair, and made me more relaxed about the situation. But we're still a laughing stock. Like, we're such a laughing stock, especially when you consider that line from Farke about Leeds United, or he doesn't know any club in Western Europe that has ever had clauses like this. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. So yeah. He mentioned that they've all trained on their own. Willie, Costa, and Cini, which is good. No Tyler Adams with them. Again, that's good. He was then asked about the mood in the camp. Obviously, naturally, it's going to be a little bit dodgy in it because some of these players that are not training with the group will have mates that are in the group. And then there's that mixing with no Sinister or Somerville, sorry. He's in the group at the minute. Maybe just because he's injured, I don't know. But he's in the group and he's mates with them outside of the group. So I don't know how that's gonna work. And it can't be easy. I remember the Arsenal documentary, yeah, when Aubameyang's there, you know, and he had mates in the group. You know, it's about getting rid of these bad apples. And unfortunately, that's what Willie Gnonto is. That's what Willie Gnonto is. So he said spirit is good in the group, but it's too thin. We still need players. Yeah, we still need players. He seemed pretty confident on this, but he's never not been confident on this, has he really? He's always said by the end of August, start of September, we'll have a squad that's going to be able to compete. Whether we will or not, we'll have to wait and see. He said, look, we've got so many injured and we're working on incomings. He mentioned Leo Hjelde having concussion in training, so he's going to be out. So we literally only have Sam Byram that can play left back for us. So Leo Hjelde actually can't come back till next Monday, I think. But then there's been chat of Leo potentially going out. So I don't know what's going on there because it was reported in Calcimercato that was going to be done by Thursday potentially, which is tomorrow. So that would be interesting if that get done, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? So Leo in concussion, so he's going to be out. Okay. Greenwood and Rutter are back. I don't really rate Greenwood in all honesty, but it's bodies. It's bodies. Would I prefer Greenwood playing on the right side than Shackleton? Best believe it. Best believe it. That is an improvement. Greenwood ain't all that, but for me, Greenwood playing off the right is much better than Shackleton doing it. Yeah. No, Jim, I think Byram will start left back, bro. Just on that. So you mentioned Greenwood and Rutter being back. For me, just looking ahead, obviously we'll do a preview tomorrow night with Lockie and with the late night Leeds crew, Lockie and Andrea. But I'd imagine Rutter starts up top with someone behind him. You know, it could be Joffy. It could even be Greenwood, but I'd start. Just don't play Shackleton out on the right wing, please. Play Greenwood there if you're going to. So you've got Greenwood and Rutter coming back, and he also mentioned Rodon having a first full week of training. I do believe, even with Ayling in there, that back four isn't that bad, Ayling aside, yeah? With Rodon, Strauch, Byram, and Ayling. Ayling's gone now. His legs are gone for me. You know, he's lost that yard and all that. As they say, I'm not a footballer, but you know, he's getting on, right? Is he 31 or something? As for drama, we'll chat about that in a sec, because I don't know. It remains to be seen, doesn't it? It remains to be seen. Freddie Max, clearly watching back, says, Joe, there is no such thing as a watertight contract. I mean, there isn't there? There is, really. Let's not pretend. There actually is such thing as a watertight contract. Right. Brian, if you'd have Creswell in the head of Strout, no, he's not great on the ball. Not great on the ball. So, yeah, I think Strauch and Rodon's the preferred partnership. For me, anyway. Against football's about opinions, but he's got a bit to go yet as Creswell. So Rodon first full week. Still too thin, though. As we know, the only positions that Daniel Farke's happy with is the goalkeeping position. So anyone asking questions there about us needing bodies, we need them everywhere, because Daniel Farke said the squad's too thin and the only position he's happy with is the goalkeeper. So anything outside of that, he wants bodies in. Obviously, we're not going to get 10 new players, 10 outfield players. We're just not. But we do need 6 or 7 for me. So he said, look, and again, this is where I'm thinking about this game. He says Friday's tough. It is going to be tough, he said. He said, next week we will look better. So it almost feels as though, obviously, they'll put out a side. They'll be competitive. But it almost feels as though Daniel's saying to us, yeah, don't be expecting the world on Friday. And I don't think any of us are. That's why I couldn't get that YEP piece this morning saying Leeds are going to get the first win. I think we'll get beat. I do think we'll get beat on Friday. But yeah, he said next week will look much better. He said that. But he said Friday will be tough, but we will be competitive. We will be competitive. He was asked about Sonny Perkins, right? Because obviously he was ill. And he said, yeah, he is available. But he did caveat it by saying, if I pick him. If I pick him. And then went on a bit of a eulogy about players in training needing to convince him. Also, he mentioned about level. So I'm not sure he actually rates Sonny Perkins. He said about players needing to be committed, tied together. So it sounds to me Sonny Perkins isn't showing Daniel Farke what he needs to in training. Now, that could be, as JB says, because I put that here, he's not a fan, doesn't rate him. Or it could well be his attitude as well. Because it was basically saying, you need to put it in training. You're not going to get a free pass, no matter who you are. And you know, at times we haven't been able to fill a bench. The fact that, yeah, let's call a spade a spade. I don't think he rates him. I don't think he rates him. And if he is not training hard, like, this is the mad thing for me. There is no better situation than right now for Sonny Perkins to stake a claim. Is there? Let's be real. There is no time like the present for Sonny Perkins to stake a claim. And yet he cannot. Yet he cannot get in the side. So that shows us either Farke just doesn't rate him, and sometimes that happens, or he's not training, you know? Folks, I've just had a quick look as well. We've got 927 people watching. Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's get it over 1,000. How do we do that? You smash the likes. We've only got 210. That's not great, especially for you, because you're great with your likes. I look at other channels, they're shouting for likes, and I look at mine and I go, do you know what? Mine do it anyway, man. They're good. But yeah, come on. Please do smash a like on the video. Let's get to over 1,000 live viewers. We do that by you folks smashing the like. Yeah. So if you haven't already, please do it. But yeah, back to Sonny Perkins being committed, tied together, all that sort of stuff. So we need to be all over that. So Sonny Perkins probably gets sent out on loan. Might not even have a future at the football club. We'll have to wait and see. Because Daniel Farke seems like he's here for the long haul. He was asked about the financial situation by Graham Smith. What is it? Is there any money? And he said, look, I'm only here to speak on sport. Straight away battered it away. But there are rules that we have to adhere to. Clearly on about FFP, profit and sustainability. And also that we haven't been sure on outgoings with loans and exit clauses, so we're a bit up in the air, but we are all on the same page in terms of the quality needed. We have to have confidence that they are going to spend, because they were willing to put money down on Max Aarons. But he mentioned the first step being that we had to sort exits out, and let's see what we can spend after that. So it's definitely a sell to buy scenario. We can spend what we bring in. But he did say, I will not speak on details. We've got good key people behind the scenes, and we will look much stronger in September. And I hope that proves to be the case. He was asked specifically about Max Aarons because of the right back situation. Is Cody in with a chance? You know, you were looking at Max Aarons. Does that mean it's the end for Cody kind of question, right? He wouldn't speak on Max, which I totally understand. He's a man of principles. He did say, though, of course, Cody is in my plans. He's been injured up to this point. At the moment, we need everyone, but we'll see at the end of August about potential outgoings. He mentioned that as well, so you don't know whether or not Cody might be on the way. I don't know how to read into that. He did say he has to be patient right now, needs to impress during training, and when his chance comes, take it. I mean, this is where I come on the Cody situation for me. He's not got a look in at Leeds now. Under this will be the third manager if he don't get a look in. Daniel Farke's saying all the right things, but let's be honest, the worst defender we have at the minute is Luke Ayling. If you can't get in now, when are you ever getting in? And at what point do we realise as a fan base and say to ourselves, actually, maybe we were wrong on Cody? Because how is it that now Bielsa, Jesse, and Daniel are maybe question marking him? What is it about him? What is it about him? I don't know. Maybe he just don't want to be at this football club anymore. There could be a host of reasons. But yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Sean Ely with the super chat says with our midfield problems was stupid to let Forshaw go. No, I said this the other day at this point. Yeah. At this point. What's up with Bill? What do you mean? I mean, just in terms of performances, mate, he's not been great. Yeah, Jamie, I don't disagree, but are you going to say that you know more than the managers that are not picking him? Is that what we're going to say? Because that'll be 3 now. If he doesn't play on Saturday, there's something amiss. He's obviously not doing something right. You know, if he doesn't play on, because for me, he's got to play Friday, sorry. How can he not be playing Friday with the performances we've had from Luke? So we're waiting seeing it. But there's clearly question marks there and has been. It was asked then, and I think this was a great question. Is 16 days enough for you to strengthen? Yeah. Is 16 days enough for you to strengthen? Yeah, he said 100%. It's a short period of time, but we knew the situation and we get more clarity as the month goes on. That's the thing with me is like, we get more clarity as though to say it's not finished yet. It's not finished yet. So I don't know what that means. Maybe Cody, I don't know. I genuinely, it's all guesswork. That's why I'd love someone from the club to bloody talk to us, to be honest. But they're not going to do that, unfortunately. But he keeps saying as the month goes on, as though it's still not done yet. So I don't know what we're waiting for. But he said, unfortunately, and again, this is this kicker. This is the kicker. He says, unfortunately, some we wanted to sign are now not available. So that's interesting, isn't it? That's interesting. But that, again, comes due to the fact that Leeds United are not able to sign yet because they don't know who's going to be here, etc. So that's the thing. I mean, Ryan Manning could have genuinely been in that crop, although I do think he'd have gone Southampton. But, you know, even like Gus Hamer, maybe they were genuine on Gus Hamer, but the move came from the Premier League. Whereas if we'd have come in, maybe we'd have got it early. Yeah, big shout out to the England women's team. It's coming home, says Jess Young. Yeah, definitely. So that was a bit not frustrating. I understand it, but annoying. You know what I mean? Where he said, unfortunately, some we wanted to sign are now not available. But he said, look, we're confident we have other solutions and we will make late decisions. It's going to be a busy last week. We hope anyway. It's certainly not been up to this point, but we hope. He said, we are relaxed, but we're not falling asleep. Although I believe, you know, Parag's better when he's sleeping. So maybe send him to sleep because he does it in his sleep, doesn't he? He was asked, I think it was Berron, if Willie and Cine don't leave, can they return to the group? Can they return to the group? And again, he straight down the line said you can't compare Willie and Cine. So it's clear he's saying Willie's refused, Cine's not. Do you know what I mean? That's clear. So he said you can't compare Willie and Cine. Legal situation with Louis means we have to have clarity. That's what he said. But he did mention the situation he'd been in before with regards to the players like Cantwell and Buendia, which were massive stars at North. And he says we need to show as a club that we are in the driving seat. Yeah. Especially for the young players. He mentioned young players as well. So I think it's a case of him setting his stall out, saying you're not going to take us for a mug anymore. We are Leeds United. And I like that, of course. Passion merchant and that. I'm like, yeah, you tell him, Daniel. He said, I left 2 players out before. He didn't name them, but we all know it was Buendia and Todd Cantwell. And he said they became heroes when we got promoted. We have to be strong and show the club is the main one. Also, the players need to behave right, though, to get back into the squad. This is the thing, right? Football is fickle. And we'll all stay with Chess now, Willie, no. But if Daniel Farker trusts him and he shows him enough in training, if he doesn't leave and he comes back in and he scores goals, a lot will be forgotten. Never forgotten completely, and he will get booed. But football's a fickle sport. Yeah, we know that, right? Everyone right now will say no, but he came back and scored goals. It'd soon be forgotten, trust me. But he mentioned that they need to show the right attitudes to get anywhere close to that. So we'll have to wait and see. He mentioned as well, I don't worry about one player. He says we're too big of a club to just rely on one player, which I think is fair and right. And then he was asked, is it a big job this week to lift the squad and morale? I didn't really rate that question. We're 2 games in. Like, relax, man. Relax. And to be fair, 2 games in, should we even be getting asked that question? I don't know. Don't know. Haran says, then what are you doing, bro? I don't know if you're on about me, bro. I don't know what you mean by that. He says, we always have to do this in the job in terms of lifting morale, but not going in, like jokey, laughy, I'm not a clown. But he did say, I won't let anyone criticize the ones who were there, and the ones that play for the shirt. So, I think that's fair. We can do that as a fan base. We not think they're good enough, but at least they have shown up for sure. He was then asked about Cine and asked if he'd actually been told not to include him in the squad, which I was like, oh, that's a good question, especially around the legality. Has someone at the club say, look, don't play into the legal situation? Now, he did say, I'm in control. No one will tell me who to pick. I make the decisions around here. I'm the sheriff in town. Yeah. He said, names on shirts, salaries, they're not important to me. I'm the gaffer. I'm the boss. Yeah, which I like, but do we believe that? I believe that he has said that, but if the club have said, look, we can't play him, we've got legal issues, he's not going to say, well, we are playing him. I don't know. Just want to ponder about it. He's saying all the right things, and I believe what he's saying in the respect of I think the players will be wary of Daniel Farker. They're not going to take him for a ride. You're not going to see the leadership group telling him the crack. He's not going to have that. Say, I'm the boss. Move over. You know what I mean? That's what we need, I think. And like he said, salaries and names on shirts are not important to me. He was asked if Louis had said if he wants to leave. And he says, no, I never share what we speak about. It's a different situation with Louis, but I won't share in public. It's just for our 4 eyes. That is enough to tell me that he is not asking to leave right now. He has not refused to play. They've come to a joint decision. Because if he had, he'd be saying what he said about Willie. No, he's not injured. He was asked specifically, has he asked to leave? The club have issued a statement. The club have issued a statement on Nonto. They haven't on Cine. So I think I think that we need to be wary of that fact on Cine. The club are cut and dry on Nonto. They're proceeding with legal or disciplinary action against him and his agent. They're not messing about on that front. Sinisterra is different. So that's fair. And I agree, Jamie. Yeah, 100% he would have, because he did with Nonto. And the club have already confirmed that fact. They've said it on Willie. So they're not the same. They're not the same, him and Louis. And again, it is probably just due to the legality. So, and his head not being in the right space, potentially. Okay. And him saying, I never share what we talk about, etc. He's saying, look, you know, for me, he's saying it's different. He was then asked, have you had such a tough period like this before at any football club where you've worked? And he said, you know, it's tough right now. And he said it in a jokey way. You could tell he's struggling. His voice went up a. He said, I've been in a similar situation with Norwich, but he did mention the contract situation at Leeds, and not any club in the Western Hemisphere has ever had contract situations like this. We are special, but not in a good way. Leeds United never go the easy way, which is so true. Like, when will we ever get it just right and have an easy time? You know what I mean? He mentioned about Leeds United basically are in the hands of the players. He said, we rely solely on the player's choice. It's a crazy thing, and it won't happen again under my reign. In effect, you know, we were at the whims of the player. When the player told us, I want to leave, there was nothing Leeds United could do about it. Vogel was telling him he wanted to stay. Then Borussia Mönchengladbach came in and he went, I want to leave. The club were powerless. So they were powerless over the whole situation. That will never be the same again. And then obviously after the press conference finished, I seen the tweet from Adam Pope, who said that Tyler Adams trained with the group. Tyler Adams trained with the group, which is good. So there we go. And move. Just having a look on that was everything on that. I'm just having a look at some of the stuff what's been said on Twitter, from the journos. And Jacobs has tweeted something. Oh, he's just on about the Willie Nonto situation. That's totally fine. We know about that. Let's see what's been said. Yeah. Phil Hayes done an article now on the Sinistera piece. Let me just share that with you. Just bear with us 1 second, folks. Don't forget to smash a like on the video for me as well, please. If you haven't already, it'd be greatly appreciated. Just see that you can see that. Yes, you can. Just gonna zoom in on this. So, Leeds United winger Sinistera is training alone, as is Willie Nonto, with both players' futures at the club uncertain. Nonto asked not to travel for Saturday's defeat to Birmingham, while there is confusion over the situation with Cine, who also did play at St Andrews and has a release clause in his contract. Speaking on Wednesday, Daniel Furker confirmed both, along with Helder Costa, who is leaving our training away from the team. With Louis Sinistera, it's different in comparison to Willie. There is no exit clause with Nonto. We've made it quite clear we won't sell him. With Louis, he had some exit clauses. It was more like some open contractual question marks, some open legal questions. For that, he was not available for the last game, and we decided that until everything from a legal point of view is clear and obvious, that he won't train with the group. His mind can't concentrate and he can't focus fully on football, and I didn't want the group to be distracted by these topics. It seems like pretty quick everything will be sorted. That's a positive. The squad is too small, yeah, and we know about that, okay? And also this bit here, Tyler Adams was at the training ground today despite interest from Bournemouth. Numerous players have been able to leave the club due to relegation release clauses this summer. Adams and Sinistera both have provisions in their deals, but Farker hinted strongly that those clauses have either expired or are about to shortly. If we were to keep hold of Adams, Cine, and we've also got Somerville when he returns, alongside a new striker, some more additions, everyone's move can change like this, myself included. Am I confident? I just wish they would tell us. Why not just tell us that the release clauses have expired? And then we can all relax. I genuinely would relax. It's the not knowing. Strongly hinted is not enough for me. I want to hear it. Because straight away, if Adams and Cine are staying, I'm happy. I'm so happy. Even just them two on Saturday improve us. We probably win the game against Birmingham. Adams in midfield alongside Ampadu. Then not having to play Gray as much, maybe playing him further up. A new striker. See, I'm doing it again. I'm talking myself round. I'm talking myself round, aren't I? Wow. Suddenly all positive. That's what I'm saying though, Dan James. Or Don James. It's easy to do that. It's easy to, for me anyway. You know me, I'm up and down like a yo-yo. Yeah, Jamie, I agree we need another midfielder, but again, I don't want to get lulled on. I'm going to get lulled into a false sense of security again. Because we were told that they wanted to keep, bipolar Joe, yeah, exactly. Jaggy Bab said it's the hope that kills you, it does. But seeing that in black and white, even though I heard it in the press conference, but seeing it in black and white, if you keep Adams and Cine, it improves us immeasurably. And then add players, which I do think they will, by the way. I don't agree with what Gabe said last night when he said 2. If they only get us 2, that's not acceptable for me. It's not acceptable. Would you accept that as a fan base, 2? It's not acceptable. We need to raise the standards. And 2 is not acceptable. Lee Chris says, hey Joe, why do we hang on to unhappy players? If you mean Sinistera being unhappy currently and maybe... Yeah, but they'll soon be happy again. Get them back in the team, winning games. So, do you think 2's realistic? I don't. We need more than that. Paul Dunn said that Adams and Ampadu isn't the best partnership for me, though I'd love him to stay. I think it is. I think it's good. Ain't nobody scoring goals against us. Ain't nobody scoring goals against us. And that's where we have major issues. You start on the weekend, right? And I was angry at the time, but defensively we weren't that bad, bar railing. If you were to bring in someone similar to Max Aarons, and you have Max Aarons, Rodon, Creswell, Max Aarons, Rodon, Strauch, and Byram, with Adams and Ampadu in front. Yeah, I agree about the creativity side of things, Jamie. But if we bring in a new number 10, and with Cine and Somerville, I'm talking myself round here. I like it. Would I make Adams captain? No. Because if he could have, he would have. Do you know what I mean? If he could have, he would have. If Chelsea wouldn't have gone for he'd be a Chelsea player. I'm not giving him the captain. That's gone for me now. That's gone for me. Like Vega said, Adams and Ampadu dominate a championship midfield, 100%. Front four, let them do the things. I agree, Vega. I agree, 100%. You shall not pass. And like Scott, I agree with Scott said. You've already got enough with Cine, Somerville, and all that sort of stuff. You have. If he was, but he's 100% not staying. He's not your captain. You don't make him captain for me. Nah. I'd be disappointed if they gave Adams the captaincy now. Ampadu, maybe. It's a good shout. He's experienced. Maybe. Caldalo. To be honest, the captain, it's not worth shit anyway, is it? Not in today's, it's not the same anymore. It's not the 90s. We cooking with Adams and Ampadu in the champion. Yeah, it's true. It is true, mate. And nobody passing that, are they? Let's be real. Adams, I don't think he's great on the ball, but he's got enough ability to be able to take it off a back four. He's got enough about him to get across the pitch to stop players like Sariki Dembele. No disrespect. He ain't great, and he was the best winger at the weekend. If Creswell was starting week in, week out, I'd give him the captaincy, but you don't give it. You're probably going to have to give it. I mean, Luke will probably get it, but he shouldn't be starting for me. He shouldn't be starting for me. But yeah, I'm just going to have a look to see if I've missed anything else, folks. Obviously, we'll need to wait to hear from the Supporters Trust. But what they've said, and I think this is key, and John Mann is clearly, independent advisor to UK government on anti-Semitism, still not scared. Well, wow. So this guy, I don't know much about the Supporters Trust, I can't lie, but clearly John Mann is he an MP? Is John Mann an MP? Independent advisor to UK government. There you go. So he's in Parliament. But this is a good sign. I'll share with you his tweet. Just bear with us one sec, and I'll get that up. So this is what he said earlier. Very positive discussions with Leeds United Supporters Club and Leeds United today. We look forward to lots of good news in the immediate future. As ever, the Supporters Club supports the club and all its players. There you go, and there's the picture. So they have been there today. We knew that a meeting was going ahead, and maybe they have relayed positives to the to the fans, basically. So I'm gonna see if I can get the inside track. Doubt it. But we'll try. We'll try. What's wrong, folks? There you go. Doubt it, but it's worth a try. I think we'll start Rutter Friday. He asked you, right? Yes, he does. Leeds House, big up to you. Make sure you check out Leeds House podcast as well. Pair of good lads right there. Give Dan James the captaincy because he runs really fast and trains really hard. Don't, mate. Like, honestly, the amount of people that he's rubbish, man. He's rubbish, you know. Big up Rocco Dean's dad as well, who became a member. Big up to you, my guy, if you're watching currently. Jurrien Timber's got an ACL injury. Ouch. That's unfortunate for him, innit? Feel a bit sorry for him. Right, okay, let me just check one more little round on Twitter to see if I haven't missed anything from those that are in the game. Daniel Farker, too small, numbers-wise. 100% it's not easy. We know about that. Luis Sinistera, yeah, okay. So there is a chance Louis comes back into the side then, isn't there? Which is good. Somerville, I'm positive about that because he's shown us in the game that we've seen against Birmingham, that guy could cook in this division. Absolutely hammer it. Like, let's be real here, right? No, Rendell, Rutter has to start as the 9. I hear what you're saying about him not being a 9, but who else can play as a 9 currently? You have to start Rutter as the 9 on Friday. Yeah, you have to, for me personally. But what I just want to say on Somerville and Cine, if they were to stay, right? And just look at Somerville because it's quiet on him. Compare Sariki Dembele against any of our wingers. The guy can't lace their boots. You can't. He was rubbish. Says more about Aylin's performances currently than it does about Sariki Dembele. So imagine them two week in, week out with a new number 10. Give me a number 10. Give me Elias Chair. Give me a new number 10. Give me Alzate from Brighton. You know, give me that with the two behind of Adams and Ampadu. A right back, a new right back with Rodon, Strauch and Byron. You know what I mean? Make it. We'd kill it. I put Sonny Perkins at 9. No, I mean, Sonny Perkins isn't even training to the sufficient level, so forget that guy. Really. Forget that guy, folks. Because it ain't happening. Feeling on Brandon Williams, I'd take him in a heartbeat, bro. I'd take him in a heartbeat. I'd take anyone at this point. I'd take Charlie Taylor back. I would. Take Charlie Taylor back. More, there's loads out there. There's loads out for us. And look, we're hopeful, aren't we, now that we oh, I didn't realise that. Was it ever Leeds? Was it ever Leeds, Donna? Was it ever Leeds, love? You know, I don't know. I didn't follow him, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if that's what he's changed it to, then anyway, he's gonna have to come back, innit, with his tail between his legs. There'll be no more songs. There'll be no more songs singing. I mean, even if you weren't, I mean, I know people disagreed with the chant and changed the words and that. There'll be none of that anymore, will there? You know what I mean? In that respect, he's got a long way to go, but he ain't gonna get his move, is he? Unless they give us the money. You give us the money, give us an offer we can't refuse, then we can talk. Don, I keep calling you Dan James. Don James says no one's coming for Somerville. If they do, his attitude will change. Yes, but I don't think he has a release clause or anything, so it's staying put, mate. I don't think the club will... This is my stance on it right now, right? The club have been bent over a barrel with these release clauses. So therefore, will not be taken for a ride anymore. They need to show strength. That's what's in their head. That's why they're doing what they're doing with Nonto. If everyone else didn't have these release clauses, yeah. Bro, where have you got that from? Where have you made that up? Where have you made that up from? Who told you he was looking sharp? Because Daniel Farker's just spoken and said he's not up to it. So you've just made that up. Unless you were there in training. He literally said, if I pick him, and I only want players who committed and are of sufficient quality. So you're talking about last week. That's what I'm saying. He's literally said within an hour that he's not. So I don't know what you're on about. Sorry. So yeah. Yeah, so on the what was we talking about, man? It's just mad, isn't it? Because you know what it is? I get so much like yeah, it is what it is. Staffed, in it, Jack. That's what it'll be, though, but it's not, is it? I did not see Bamford having a go at people having a go at Bamford for say just on Jack Harrison, by the way. That goodbye message, all that guttedness I felt about Jack went in the bin. Did you see the state of his goodbye message? After 5 years at the football club and promotion and Bielsa. Did you see? Did you see? Do you know what I mean? Did you see his message? That's what I was talking about. Go Spectre, nice one. Talking about Somerville, weren't we? Yeah. So the club, yeah, have been bent over a barrel with these release clauses. Some of the players have took the piss. You know, case in point being Max Vober. I'm gonna stay, then saying no, I'm not gonna stay, and doing one and going out of the door. Yeah. So I think the club are just going to go, nah, we are now setting our stall out to say, boom, you're not taking us for a ride anymore. So these players can want to go all they want, but if you ain't got a clause, then you ain't going unless the club offers us an amount of money that we can't refuse. So that's where we're at in it. Now, the window shuts, yeah, 1st of August, right? Let me just get my date calculator out. You know what I'm like. I'm a right little nerd with stuff like this. So today, the date is the 1st of September. Okay. Now, 16 days, right? We're 16 days out now. 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 2 days. Now, I'm not expecting any more business this week. I don't see any incomings. Yeah. Don't see any incomings this week. Don't see any incomings this week. But the next 2 weeks, hopefully going to be massive. Hopefully. You know? So September the 1st, it's going to be a busy day. You know, I'll be here. You know, I'll be here. Something happening Friday. No, we play on Friday, bro. That's what's happening. So yeah. Farker did seem optimistic. He did, Jamie. He did. He did seem optimistic. So hopefully that optimism isn't misplaced and Leeds United start to do business. And I can end up with egg on my face and say, do you know what, 49ers? Do you know what, Parag? I'm sorry. I'm sorry and I was wrong. And I want that. Do you know what I mean? And I you know me, I'll change my opinion. Bloody hell, I change my opinion every day, don't I? I've changed my opinion on this stream. I came in going, yo, it is, you know, I'm coming, yo, oh, it's JKA Mark 2 to at the end of it going, oh, wow. If we actually keep these players, we're going on a title charge. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, isn't it? It's class. Let's have a look. Yeah, man. I mean, that sign was bleak, wasn't it, though? It was done in fecking biro on a piece of wood. You couldn't read it if you tried. Do you know, if you were driving past that, you wouldn't be able to read it. You'd have to have got out of the car. There's no way you could have read that. They just had to put it in big, massive letters like, I don't know, rats. That is more of a message than putting players and little diagrams and that. It was mad, that board, you know. It was mad. Genuinely, if you'd have drove past in a car, you would not have been able to read that. You would have been better just putting rats, like, to fill the board. Do you know what I mean? But I agree with you in terms of, you know, Paddy gets pelters, and it's not nice. Like, for him to say good luck to Jack, he should be getting pelters for that. He spent 5 years of his life with him every day, shared moments with him. Why are you going to give him grief? But these are absolute virgins who don't have face profiles giving him grief. You can criticize. You don't need to be going and doing that. But these are absolute, you know, people that need to go touch grass who are in his DMs telling him to kill his dog and that. Weirdos. Weirdos. Daniel Bose says, will I actually say what? Tell me what? Tell me what? Tell me what? Will I actually say what? I'm sorry? Yeah. I'm not afraid. It's fine. It's fine. Like, I hope I'm wrong. Do you know what I mean? I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, Bamford, you're right. Couldn't hit a barn door and that, but we don't need to be going in and getting in his DMs and that. It's weird. It's just genuinely weird. But we're seeing it. Big up Carlberry as well. Big up Carlberry. Anyway, we moved, don't we? We're rambling now. We're finished up. I don't think there's anything else we need to discuss. If anything does happen between now and the end of the evening, you know, you will catch it on the Just Joe Football Show. If I don't see you, I'll be back tomorrow night. 9 o'clock. Always, yeah. Always the evening before the game. Okay. So we'll be there. Myself, Andrea, Lockie, and Lloyd if he's about. All right. So make sure you check us out. Thanks for supporting as always. Listen, folks, if you haven't already, before you do leave, like the video. And if you are new here, subscribe. It was only the other day I hit 22. We're now just 400 away from hitting 23. That's how much we're moving. Literally, in a week or so, we're nearly at 23. It's mad. The rate of knots that we're moving as a channel right now. And I want to say thank you, because you are the folks that are always here. Jack, White Rose Rivals, it's probably going to be tomorrow because Tom, the Hull fan, couldn't make today. And he wants to be there because obviously Hull battered Chef Wednesday. So I think it's going to be 6 o'clock on Thursday. Then 9 o'clock we'll do the preview. Yeah. So yeah. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, please do subscribe. As I say, we're nearly already at 23. I mean, we're only 2 games into the season. We could be on 25 by the end. Let's hope. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. I'm rambling now. Peace out. And yes, Joe Blackburn, big up to you as well, my guy. Thanks.